teacher told you that you weren't allowed to use a calculator because you wouldn't always have one with you. But nowadays, we kind of do. So technology. How does technology shape our knowledge experience, our ability to learn and communicate and discover? And what does that really mean for us? Because we really can't have technology without knowledge. Before we look at the way things are today, we have to first understand how we got here. And this really started a few thousand years ago when the first method of recording information was through pictures and paintings. And this allowed us to express our ideas and visualizations, not just to those around us, but to future generations. But the main problem with this is that it's easy for us to misinterpret the true meaning, and it wasn't able to communicate this to a large crowd. Eventually, written language started to develop into pictographs, and eventually in around 3000 BC, we see this through cuneiform used by the Sumerians. And this invention really allowed us to specifically describe our ideas and specific events, and began what we now know as recorded history. And this technology continued to develop. And in 100 BC, with the invention of paper, which was of course made in China. And in 1440, with the invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg. Okay. So these technologies continue to solve these problems. And in the 1800s, we developed the form of recording information through pictures and audio recordings. And this allowed us to more specifically depict what we saw and what we heard, the sounds and voices, and it really just allowed us to have a more accurate representation of information. In the 1900s, when computers were developed, a new language was formed of zeros and ones, and we were able to transform our library of information into a digital format. And in 1898, Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web, which allowed us to transfer our information to anyone else who had access to the World Wide Web almost instantaneously. In 2007, Steve Jobs announced the first smartphone, which was a revolutionary technology that allowed us to have essentially a supercomputer in our pockets that gave us the ability to communicate with someone halfway around the world, and literally access to our entire database of human intelligence at our fingertips. And I hope that I won't get, can you go back? Yeah, hopefully I won't be super using these logos. And these are just some technologies that were developed over the past. And it just shows how far we've come in human history. But how far have we really come? We still write on our walls and communicate through emoji pictographs. And oftentimes it's popular to believe that there is no true meaning. 4 billion people today still don't have access to the internet, which is equal to the population in the 1970s. That means that after 45 years, there's still the same number of people who don't have access to the internet. And we live in a day and age where we are recording more data than ever before. We have almost a zettabyte of information on the internet, which is equal to 10 to the power of 12 gigabytes. And I'm a student. I've been a student for most of my life. And oftentimes, I've been privileged to be able to be surrounded by knowledge and technology. And oftentimes we ask ourselves, how are we going to use this in real life? And really, it's the right question to be asking, because technology not only allows us to look to our past and be aware of current events, but it also allows us to move forward in the future. Because you see, the smartphone was to digital information as paper was to writing. And technology really allows us to create and to share our ideas, to discover, and to do more. Because nowadays, we have the knowledge of things that are going on around the world, and we have the tools to fix them. And I just want to encourage you guys to play a part in this development, to make your own painting, because it really doesn't matter what technologies that are available to us, or even if we have access to our entire human knowledge, which nowadays we kind of do. What really matters is, yeah. This thing doesn't actually work. What really matters is our application.